Back to the exclusive. My name is Stacey Roberson. I'm your host with the most exclusive and one of Atlanta's greatest ideas. So as you already know, we have none other than Lori Sadler Rice, who serves as the Director of Student Recruitment and Admissions here at Clark Atlanta University. And so we're just going to hop right on back in. Now, what you want to make sure you continue to listen because we got some exclusive for you, and it's going to be really, really good. All right, so here we go. What is a mistake that has to be corrected that students often make when they're applying to an institution such as Clark Atlanta?
Well, I talk to students all the time about prepping for standardized tests. I have conversations with parents, and they share with me all the time that their students don't test well. And I would like to encourage, kind of redirect that language or that narrative and encourage that it's not maybe so much that our students don't test well, but maybe if we focus a little bit more on prepping well, we might see some stronger results. So taking a test prep course, I think, is one of the best things students can do to improve their test scores and ultimately strengthen their application for admission consideration. At CAU, we take a holistic approach to reviewing the application. So it's not just one variable. It's not just a test score that determines the decision, but it is part of the overall applicant review. And so from that standpoint, it could be worth the investment of a student's time and money, I mean, that's the reality, to invest in a prep course. And if we think about it, if a student invests in a prep course and they actually end up scoring higher and having a test score that's going to put them in scholarship range, that's the return on that investment immediately.
I agree.
So that I can't stress that enough. Test prep, so that our scores can be as strong as they can be. Now, I recognize, and we're not going to discuss in here like the debate of standardized tests and all of that, whether there are biases. Not discussing that, but at this point, it is part of our admission requirement, and so I just want to position students to score as well as they can, and I believe test prep would help them do that, and I can't stress that enough. And then also taking the exam more than once. So if you take it the first time, that's baseline. And during the first time, if you get a perfect score, you're good. And if you take it that time and you score anything less than a perfect score, take it again.
That's right.
Take it again, because schools are going to look at the higher score. And actually what we'll see is some progression in most cases, but it shows that the student is determined to do well when you see multiple test scores. So that is looked favorably on students in their applications.
Okay. So make sure you all who are listening and watching, make sure you take heed to what was just said, because these are some things that often take place, and that can also keep a student from getting accepted into an institution, just based off the scoring. So preparation definitely would take you a long way. So this is something I want to, and this is the exclusive we were talking about. All right. So I have some exclusive tea for you viewers, all right? So even though Lori is a director of student recruitment and admissions, she is also a member of the first Greek-lettered sorority in the world for African-American collegiate women, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So you pledged what year?
1986. In the spring of 1986.
Spring of 1986. Now, what's significant about what I'm sharing with you is that, of course, for those who are familiar with Greek-led organizations, you have sorority sisters or fraternity brothers, all right? So her line sisters, those who went through her process with her, had no idea that they were also pledging alongside a U.S. presidential hopeful. Lori is the line sister to Kamala Harris. So, Lori, in your own words, why should Kamala Harris be our next president of the United States of America?
Well, that's a big question. That's a broad question. But if I had to put it, I think you said it in my own words.
Yes.
I believe that Kamala Harris can and should be the next president of the United States. I think based on, first of all, her leadership. She has proven her leadership in the public sector And that's evidenced by her role as Attorney General for the state of California, and even how impressive she's been in her current role as Senator. I believe she can solve the complex problems of the next generation. And I believe she'll do this with the courage of someone who is not bound to any special interest. I think she's proven her innovative ideas on social policy actually work. And she also demonstrates an inclusive American values, which will strengthen our country against internal as well as external threats to our prosperity, tranquility, and democracy. And then, I guess, if I'm honest, at the end of the day, because she's my line sister.
Period.
Period. Exactly.
Well, awesome. No, I definitely appreciate you sharing that information with us. And if you would let Kamala Harris know that the exclusive, we definitely love her and definitely show much support to her effort. I have had an opportunity to study her and watch a lot of YouTube videos on her, and I'm very often impressed about her because I love how quick she is on her feet. And of course, whoever we have as president of the United States of America, we want them to be able to be quick on their feet, think at a drop of a dime, to be prepared for whatever question or answer that may need to come in their way or from their direction. It is so important that we have that type of leader. I know just from watching her on YouTube, she is definitely a people person, and she loves her people. She loves the African American race, but she also comes from a place, just from watching, to see that she have a love for people in general, no matter what their race is.
And it's genuine.
And it's genuine. And that's what I saw. And also, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that I often say that if the women of the world move to another planet, I'm moving with them. It would definitely be refreshing. There you go. It definitely will be refreshing to see a woman become president of the United States. And it also be refreshing to see a woman of color to be in place. So definitely look to see great things out of Miss Harris as the race continue to go forward. All right. All right. So tell her that Stacey Roberson said hello.
I will.
All right.
You can help me when working on a fundraiser here in Atlanta. So I'll draft you on that.
I would love to do that.
Awesome.
All right. So considering that you are currently in pursuit of your doctoral degree, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years as in position in Atlanta?
So, Stacey, and you probably already know, this was one of our interview questions for the doctoral program. And I guess my answer is the same now as it was then, and that is wherever God leads me. Wherever God leads me. I didn't know I was going to be here.
That's right.
Right? So, but if I had to, come up with an answer, since, I am here now, I'd have to say my goal for my next move would be to be a vice president of enrollment. And we'll see if that happens here in Atlanta or not.
All right. And I know that you will do amazing.
Thank you.
In your position. And I do want to pause for the cause and say that it's amazing to see that when we're looking at history and to know that even little Lori Sadler Rice and little Stacey Roberson in our communities growing up, to be able to say what it means to be amongst the first, or to be the first, to know that we look at it for granted because we're just having conversation, but we are a part of Black history. We are part of American history. To say that we are one of 10 in the first cohort for Clark Atlanta University's online doctoral EDD program.
Right.
Like, that's history.
That's history.
So when people wonder who are the first, they're talking about us. And so that's amazing, and I'm just happy to be a part of this cohort with you.
Yes.
And to be a part of this journey. And guess what? We're just getting started.
Yes.
And we got so much to look
almost
for.
a year done. Like next week we'll be a year.
A year.
And my dad told me once, he said, Lori, time keeps moving.
That's right.
Time keeps moving. And so what you do with that time is up to you.
That's right.
A year has gone by,
Mm-hmm.
and we've completed a year in the MBA program. But it would have been a year anyway.
Wow.
If we hadn't done anything.
That's right.
So make the most
That's it.
of every moment that you have, because it's going to keep moving.
That's right.
It's going to keep moving.
Awesome. We're going to take a quick break. Again, you've heard it so far. This is the exclusive with Lori Sadler Rice, and we'll see you in a small second.